If you are somebody who is jumping on board with us today to learn more about evolving your leadership style, if you are somebody who is new to a role in leadership, if you are somebody who is working with a team, if you are somebody who's figured out all the technical components of the work, the business, the organization that you work in, now you've got a team around you that are helping you to scale what you're doing. If you are somebody who's chosen to get in and help and serve people, if you're somebody who's really passionate about your organization, passionate about your industry, and want to do more to help the people around you, then stay tuned, because in this particular live stream today, I've got some great ideas to help you with what's been effective for me in improving my leadership style and in improving how our performance is improving here at Best Practice. Hey, I'm Kobe. Welcome back to Best Practice. We live, I believe, here probably on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, with some great stuff going on. So for those that have jumped on LinkedIn, welcome. For those of you that have gone to YouTube, welcome to you. One quick tip is we have been playing a fair bit with TikTok lately. So if you have downloaded and installed the TikTok app and you are losing, tens of thousands of hours of your life looking at that particular app and trying to work out what to do with it, jump across and you can follow our account on TikTok. Lots of little short tips and tricks to help you guys over there. Let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Zach, I hope the exams are going well. I hope there's lots going on. Smash that like button and let me know who's on board, and say hello in the comments. So, hey, Helen. Hey, Luke. Hey, Stan. Welcome, everybody, back to this particular session. So what we've been doing, as some of you are aware, on the bestpractice.biz website, is we've been loading up a bunch of free guides. Watch this space. The winning formula for recruitment guide is now up there. Let me know if you've had a chance in the comments there to get access to that. Good morning, Craig. Welcome from South Africa. Let me tell, I assume it's quite early in the morning for you over there, Craig, or late at night. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Lee, welcome. So, hey, Maggie. So everybody that's watching on LinkedIn, watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us today. So today we're talking about how to evolve our leadership style. It's something that I've been doing a lot of research into. And just to go back to those guides that we've been producing, so if you haven't had the opportunity to check those out, have a look at bestpractice.biz/guides, and you can pick up those free guides. So we've, for those of you that are business owners trying to figure out marketing, we've done the new guide on SEO for your website. We've got the winning formula for recruitment. We've got the business continuity plan. There's an action plan. There's some COVID response plans. There's a COVID plan for offices. There's a whole bunch of free stuff there. So take the opportunity to go onto the website, download those free documents. They come down as an editable document, and then you can copy and paste them and edit them and use them as much as you like. So the exciting news I've got for you today is that yesterday morning at about 5 a.m., I finished marking up our leadership guide to help you evolve your leadership style, and just some different thoughts on the traits of unsuccessful leaders, and on 14 things that you can focus on to improve your leadership. So Vanessa is literally working on making that look pretty right now. She's also watching the live stream, and we hope to have that live stream, that document up for you guys by the end of today on the guides tab. We will email it out. So if you're on our email database, we'll email out the link to that particular guide to help you guys evolve your leadership. There's a bit of reading that I've been doing to try to improve my leadership skill with my team. I have about 30 people that I serve, that I work for, that I help to make their lives amazing every day. There's also a team of about 30 in this organization. They don't report directly to me, but I help them as well. And so really, the context that I've found for myself to be most successful, or even more successful as leader in our organization, is that I focus on this concept when somebody asks me how I am. Hey, how are you today? I'm like, I'm amazing. And a bunch of you know that that's my standard response. But then my next question will be, how can I make your life more amazing today? And really, that's the context from a leadership perspective. As I've dug down into this, I can think back to a time in my career where I had this ego. I'm walking around, I've got my chest puffed out, and like, this is excellent. I've got 50 people that report to me. This is great. I've got a really big team, and I focused on growing the team and having more people. And so I would often describe this egotistical situation about how big my team was. And that was how I felt I felt valuable and worthy myself. To be an effective leader, we really need to ask the question, rate yourselves on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being low, 10 being high. How influential are you? And really starting to be vulnerable with yourself and have that quiet conversation with yourself. Realistically, how influential am I? And then we can start to say, okay, if we can be a little bit more self-aware and we can understand what our ego is doing, and my ego is enormous, and I know I'm starting to tame that beast. But it's something that's really has been, around my self-awareness in the last couple of years, is really come to this position. No, actually, my job is to help people get the most out of themselves, help them unleash their potential, actually help them achieve and get what they want out of life. I'll definitely get what I want out of life. I know that I can do that. But my goal is, it's going to be easier for me to get what I want out of life and all parts of life, whether it's, business freedom or whether it's, doing meaningful work or whether it's helping people. And I love helping people. So I want you to really think about that. It becomes easier to get what you want out of life if you start by focusing on helping others get what they want out of life. And so when we start to ask that question, you can really start to say that, the improvement of your leadership style is more about improving how you think and what you think about than actually how you approach situations, because you will come with this autonomous operating, modus operandi into situations to guide your leadership. So as I've been doing some research to try and cement my thinking with some philosophies, I've been digging back into a couple of books. The first book that we revisited last week and we posted about it was Good to Great by Jim Collins. And Jim Collins talks about level 5 leadership. In terms of evolving your leadership style, this book is a must-have in your library. I would recommend, trying to get yourself a hard copy so you can make notes, fold pages, put in bookmarks. But Jim Collins talks about level 5 leadership. And I talked last week in our live stream, which the recording is available if you want to go back and watch that, if you haven't watched it already, in the leadership live stream. He talks about humility. And so on a scale of 0 to 10, rate your level of humbleness or humility. And really, that's probably something for me where, being the oldest child in the family and, having some pretty tough times when I was growing up, and I can tell that story another day, that really humility was something which was, for me, about putting up a smokescreen and actually putting on a front, faking it till I make it. And really that hasn't served me well. And so when I have found that if I can accept some more humbleness and be a little bit more humble in the situation and take more of a listening approach, and you guys know that I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, and I make a lot of noise. But as I take more of a listening approach from a leadership perspective, I'm finding myself to be more effective. And I'm actually, instead of actually putting more energy in and more effort and working more hours, I'm actually finding that the less energy I put in and the less effort and the more listening that I do, and I focus on actually how can I get the most out of my athletes, my team of athletes, and coach my team and take a coaching perspective and see yourself as the coach, not the captain. So rather than the captain of the team, the coach of the team, then you get a better return on your investment, either your investment of time with your team members or the actual money. And I can see some business owners here who have big teams. Some of you guys there in the list, I can see the comments, people that are commenting, is definitely something that I want you to be considering, getting that return on investment. Because, with employees, and as we're talking about leadership, it's implied that we're talking about leaders and employees, or managers and employees. You want to get a return on your investment because you're handing over good money, good hard-earned money. The business has earned it's good hard-earned money in exchange for labor, whether that's management, thinking and its time inside the computer that is our brain, or it's actual manual work. And so it's about getting a better return on investment, and also empowering people to do meaningful work and work that they enjoy. So that's something to consider, and as we've been digging down into this. Now, the other really interesting book, which has come out of nowhere, really, I didn't even know it existed. It wasn't recommended to me. I just happened to pick it up in a bookshop. Was The Culture Code. And this book, I started and finished reading this morning at 5 a.m. I haven't, I'll probably go back to it and pull a bit more information out of it. For those of you that know that I'm an avid book reader and I try to get through a book a day. But really, I found the gold nugget in this particular book. The way that I read books really quickly, just to segue for a minute, is and digress, is that I go to the contents page and I look at how the book is structured, and then I look at what the problem is that the book is solving. Usually you can judge a book by its cover, hopefully, and you get a bit of an indication. It's the cover that triggered me to pick this up as we embark on this cultural discussion and leadership discussion. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. How have they broken this down? Now, this is a really interesting book. It's got some really great tips and tricks. You will see this book influence some of our writing and some of our content over the next couple of weeks. But it really, I thought there was a good stepping off point for the discussion today around evolving your leadership style, which is 3 questions. So I've put these 3 questions here so you guys can do a screenshot if you can see that and the lights aren't too bright. But really, great leaders predicated on humility and demonstrating humility or living with humility as a value is that great leaders really need to start by thinking and then asking and then campaigning these 3 questions. So for those of you who want to do a screenshot or make a note of the time that we're up to, I think we're probably up to about 11 minutes as a timestamp where these questions are, is that the first question is, what is one thing that I currently do that you'd like me to continue to do? Now, this is a question, I'd like to do an example, a case study on myself first with you guys. And if you wouldn't mind answering in the comments, either on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching, if you could answer these questions, it's a good practice run for me. If I took the position as a leader and an educator and helping you guys, if you could answer these questions for me in the comments, that would be fantastic. What's one thing that I currently do that you'd like me to continue to do? And if you could answer that in the comments, that would be fantastic. Then the next question to think about is, what is one thing that I don't currently do frequently enough that you think I should do more often? So what is one thing that I currently do? What is one thing that I don't do What is one thing that I don't currently do frequently enough that you think I should do more often? I've had a few comments this week that people want to see more videos from me at my house. And that was a comment in a meeting yesterday. They want to see more of the behind the scenes type things. We're fitting out an office. I've been carrying doors up and down stairs this morning. People want to see some more behind the scenes things. And there is one more question. This is a question to you guys. What can I do to make you more effective? So what can I do to make you more effective? So as a stepping off point, we've got what should I continue to do? What should I do more of? And what can I do to make you more effective? Now, the stepping off point is for you guys to evolve your leadership style is to be looking at a team member, looking at a person that you serve, taking a servant perspective as a leader. So a humble leader takes a servitude perspective and a servant perspective in place of a dictatorial command and control perspective. There are 2 more books. I think I brought them today. I did bring them. I haven't read them yet, but I'm researching this topic right now of Beyond Command and Control. And Beyond Command and Control, they're recommended to me by a very good friend of mine up in the north coast of New South Wales as we were having a discussion. And that is something that I'll get into beyond command and control. But this is moving leadership, evolving leadership away from this command and control perspective and into a servant perspective. So taking a servant's role as a leader and starting to say, okay, thinking this way, looking at a person, say I've got Luke here in the studio and I'm effectively, his manager, if you like, or one of his managers, and saying, okay, what's one thing that I do that you'd like me to continue to do? What is one thing that I don't currently do frequently enough that you think I should do more of? And what can I do to make you more effective? So the first thing is to ask you to think about those questions yourself as a leader and an influencer in your own mind when you're looking at somebody, and then go right ahead and ask those questions. So I want you to be considering that for yourself, but let's do that exercise. So for you, Craig, thanks for getting up so early. Excuse me, I'll just get a glass of water. So that's one thing I want you guys to think about. So welcome, Maggie, first time to join. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate, Craig, you getting up there at 2:30 a.m. in South Africa. I appreciate that. So thanks for that comment there, Abe. So yes, I will continue to positively engage people. So for those of you watching, if you wouldn't mind commenting, what is one thing that I should continue to do as a leader and an influencer? And I'd really appreciate an answer to that question. What is something that I don't do very often that you would like me to do more often? So what is one thing that you like that I do and you think I should do it more often? I'd really appreciate this because this gives me a little bit of feedback from you guys that are watching. So if you wouldn't mind commenting, that'd be fantastic. If you are watching this after the recording, then please go ahead and make those comments because that's giving me some feedback. That would be fantastic. And then this last one is, what can I do to make you more effective? These are real questions, and I would really appreciate an answer in the comments to those so that I can help you guys more effectively. So as you take that position, I want you to write those questions down and think about that. That's going to help you to evolve your leadership style. It's a really good little pivoting question. We can overlay things like, great leaders are more humble, great leaders deploy empathy, and deploy empathy and teach empathy and campaign empathy with their team members. Those are things to think about in terms of evolving your leadership style. That is definitely something that you can use to start to improve how you can actually take a better position with your team and really get more out of it. And when I haven't been one in the past to use sporting analogies, but today I would like to use one, is really about taking, rather than a captain's perspective or a star player's perspective, we really want to try and avoid as a leader being the star player. And what Jim Collins talks about in Good to Great, and we've touched on it in our leadership guide that we're releasing on the website this afternoon, is that one of the first habits of an unsuccessful, ineffective leader is that I'm superior, our products and services are superior, and so am I. We're untouchable, and my organization is successful, or my team is successful because my leadership and my intellect. That's absolutely opposite, to the humility and being humble in the way that we're talking about here. So habit number 2, I'm the sole proprietor, the team is mine, and obviously my wants and needs are the best interests of my organization and shareholders. And it's about, this is my agenda, this is my organization, you will do what you're told, this is my bus, get on it or get off. And that's one of the negative mistakes or negative habits that we want to avoid. The third one is, I'm a genius. I'm the smartest person in the room. I believe in myself, and you should too. Don't worry. I know all the answers. I'm not micromanaging. I'm being attentive. I don't need anyone else, certainly not a team. So when we talk about those thought patterns, we can see that positioning from that very positive perspective of, how can I help you get what you want out of life? How can I help you be more effective? How can I help you do what you need to do? Then we really get that opportunity to improve. The next of the habits is habit number 4, which is the bad habits and bad thought processes of unsuccessful and ineffective leaders. These are all in our guide. If you're not with me, you're against me. Get with the plan or get out of the way. And where's your loyalty? So, those kinds of concepts, which is about what Simon Sinek talks about in Start With Why, or the Infinite Game, is really campaigning what you're passionate about and having people join the worthy cause, come along with the worthy cause, feel like they belong to the worthy cause, rather than dictatorially marching your soldiers out into battle and saying you will do this or you will die. So we really want to take that very empathetic, humble approach to leadership, and we can see that when we're talking about successful leaders, we can see where that comes from. Habit number 5, I'm the spokesperson. It's all about image. It's all about me. It's all about public relations. I'm the genius. I love making public appearances. That's why I'm a star in our commercials. And it's my job to be socially visible. That's why I give frequent speeches and have regular media coverage. The charismatic superstar leaders, there are tons of examples, particularly in Jim Collins' book, about superstar organizations that failed to make the transition from good to great. And that's what this is about. This is about great leadership. It's about leaving a legacy. It's about having an impact. It's about doing great stuff with your organization, which is about truly getting the most out of the people that choose to join your worthy cause. And the last couple of habits there is, it's just if you have an issue, the statement or the negative thinking is, it's just a minor roadblock, full steam ahead. Let's call that diversion. Something that we won't necessarily show in our books. Let's not worry about that. Ignore that little hiccup and let's keep moving on. I've made that mistake in the past, which is failing to acknowledge the small bumps in the road or thinking that they're small bumps in the road, but they've had big impacts on individual people in the organization, and failing to let people have the time to grieve on the mistakes and issues that they may have had, even though they take themselves, they hold themselves fully accountable for it. I've failed to let them unpack that. So those are the kinds of things that I want you to start to think about. The final habit there, and I'm just giving you the introduction to our leadership guide. It's always worked this way in the past. We've done it before and we can do it again. So really failing to acknowledge that, I think it's Isaac Newton that said, madness is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So we want to really, not be delusional about this and really take that, that refreshing approach to it. Okay. Helen, so keep teaching about leadership styles. No problems. I'm happy to do that. How to identify that style when you market yourself to organizations? How do you see that someone, how do you see that in someone in a half-hour discussion? Okay. I'll have a think about that. I appreciate that feedback. So anybody watching on LinkedIn or anybody watching on YouTube, these are the questions we're talking about this morning, which is, what should I continue to do? What should I do more of? And what can I do to make you more effective as you evolve your leadership style? Now, truth be told, as we move through our careers, we're all going to be influencing and leading in all different parts of our life. So this is a relevant topic. If there is somebody that you've thought about as we've been talking, if there's a leader in your organization who you maybe want to give some delicate feedback to, then we can really have, we can have a conversation about how that can take place. But if somebody who is a great leader, somebody who does exemplify some of these traits and characteristics I've talked about in a positive way, maybe tag them in the comments. If you are watching this after the recording or during the recording, tag them, just type their name and give them a shout out, give them a congratulations for being a great leader. Comment yes or no. Have you seen people demonstrate these, these traits? Have you seen, is this something that you think that you could implement? Are these questions, do you think you could use these questions? I'm interested to know whether that can help you guys, whether you feel that you could use this, what more information do you need? Okay, so moving on, I want to talk quickly in this about evolving your leadership style, about how to give feedback and how to start to get better results out of people and help them unleash their potential, get them what they want in life. So we talk about feedback and we talk about delivering feedback to people as a coach, if you like, or as a captain. And so, whether there's something that needs improvement, somebody can't see it, whether they're ignoring it, whether they're conscious of it, whether they're asking for help, we talk about, how to give feedback. And I thought it'd be topical today, towards the end of this presentation, to be talking about how to deliver feedback. So there's been this concept about sandwiching feedback. The old concept, who's heard about this? Comment yes or no in the comments and let me know if you've heard about sandwiching feedback, where you give a positive, a negative, and a positive. So you're sort of framing up, you need to give someone some negative feedback, but you give them a compliment, then you give them the negative feedback that you want to deliver, and then you give them something else positive, and it's the feedback sandwich. So you've never heard of that, Craig? Okay, so the feedback sandwich. Well, I'm here to tell you today not to do it, because most times the research that's been done by Daniel Coyle in the Culture Code, the research they did to back this particular book, was they found that more often than not, the feedback sandwich, when you're giving feedback to team members, employees, people in your organization, someone will they'll get confused because they'll either overly focus on the positive feedback they got, I'm doing a great job, this is fantastic, they won't hear the negative feedback, or they'll focus on the negative feedback and won't hear the positive feedback. So it confuses people. And there's a lot of research now around how to give feedback that that sort of indicates that that's not the right way forward. What Daniel Coyle proposes is that we take a different approach. We separate the two. Now, the first is if we need to deliver some, obviously you're delivering feedback, it's something negative, you feel uncomfortable about doing it. And so we need to deliver that. And we say, we'll feel better if we give a positive, a negative, and a positive. What Daniel Coyle is saying more successful, and the trend for the next couple of years will be taking a growth mindset, trying to switch on a growth mindset for the person so that you can deliver that feedback or deliver the recommendations on the areas for potential improvement. So it goes something like this. the first thing to do, and I'm guilty of doing this in my career or not doing this in my career, is to ask permission. Say, hey, I've got some ideas on improvement. Can I give you some feedback? So asking permission. If they say yes or no, well, more likely they're going to say yes. And if they say no, then you can think about a different approach. We're not going to discuss that today, but the first thing is to ask permission. Can I give you some, can I have your permission to give you some feedback? Then it's really about taking the opportunity to do a open two-way discussion about the learning opportunity that exists. And we really, if we're going to give someone feedback, really what we're talking about is that their current modus operandi isn't working. It's not getting the desired result, or it's creating friction. It's creating issues in other parts of the organization or for other team members, or not helping them get what they want out of life. And so in terms of giving that feedback, we want to take a learning approach, and we want to say, okay, what do we need? What do you need to continue to do when you're giving feedback to somebody? You can use these questions. You can say, what I want you to continue to do that you do well is this. What you don't do very often that I need you to do more of is this. And I will be more effective if you do this. And it is taking the Carol Dweck learning mindset. You want to turn on the growth mindset, which is you're not where I need you to be. And it would be fairly easy to give it to a player of a football team or a soccer team or a rugby team or a baseball team or a basketball team, all the different sports, because you can say, look, our performance isn't where it needs to be. We've got a gap here. We've got an issue there. We've got an area of concern. They're getting goals against us here. This is an area where we need to improve. And so we need you to help the team by lifting your training, your performance, your focus in these particular areas. Look out for this, watch out for that. So you can see that when we take this learning, you're not there yet mindset, and we say to the person, you're not there yet. You're not quite where you need to be yet. What can we do to improve that? I've got some recommendations. Would you like to hear them on how we can improve? And so really it's about isolating and taking a really learning approach to delivering what would perceive to be negative feedback. Now, in terms of if you're going to deliver positive feedback, you do that in short bursts, making a big deal about it, very publicly, giving accolades and recognition, saying thank you, doing those sorts of things. So really separating the two things so the person receiving it isn't being confused. And the public displays of positive behavior will be showing the organization, putting the flag in and saying, that's how we do things around here. So private coaching conversations for negative feedback, not public, not ridiculing people, not belittling people, remembering we as a leader are working towards demonstrating humility and patience with people, allowing people a safe environment to be vulnerable. And so then we can take that learning approach, because that is our goal. Our goal is we are the coach. We are the coach, and we are there to help people get what they want out of life. We're there to serve people. We're there to help people improve their performance. We're there to support them. We're there to help make them more effective. And so when we take that approach, then we do that in a closed, quiet, private environment where it's safe, where we get writing your notes down about the feedback you need to deliver, and then starting to think about over communicating your expectations so that you can have them lift their performance. Then the second part to that is, if it's positive feedback, is making that very, very public. Okay, Abe, thank you very much. Continue to support me and provide the forum and the tools that will enable me to reach my full potential. I will do that for you, Abe, no problems. These weekly videos are building a toolbox and structure to allow me to lead and become the leader I aspire to become. Fantastic. I will continue to do both those things for you, Abe. So thank you for your comments there on YouTube. So if any of you guys watching on LinkedIn, if you have got any questions, or if you'd like to make a comment, if I have still got your attention, hit those like buttons down the bottom. Keep punching those. Helen, can we clone you? Yeah, you can. You can actually. You can open another window and open another tab in your web browser, and you can watch me at the same time on two screens. How's that sound? Then I could be in stereo. My wife would probably say that two of me in the house would be too much. But that's what I'm trying to do for you guys, Helen. I'm trying to get as close as I can to cloning, which is to do as many videos as possible and to be scalable online. So thank you for the comment. If any of you guys watching want to have a 30-minute, Zoom call with me, I get a huge amount of insight, just quiet, private chat. I get a huge amount of insight, and I do a couple of those a week. You can reach out to Caitlin, my assistant, and she can book some time in my calendar and set up the Zoom call. make sure I'm there for it, and I will be in front of a camera and we can have a conversation. So if you guys ever want to sort of reach out and just have a quiet, if you've got some questions, these are the very public Q&As that we like to run. I'm trying to do this a couple of times a week for you guys. When we move into our new studio in probably about 2 weeks' time, I can do more of it. The sound quality will be better, etc. But that's what they're for. So, okay. So for those of you that are getting a bit more confidence around your commenting there, please let me know. So what should I continue to do? And I want you to write that question down. With the team members, as you are becoming a leader, as you're evolving your leadership style, as you are having one-on-ones with people, as you are talking to the people around you that you serve, I want you to be asking these 3 questions. I want you to either ask yourself the question, look at someone and say, how can I serve you better? But I also want you to start openly asking those questions. And like what I'm experiencing now, not everybody is immediately forthcoming with responses. And it is tough because it is safe. I'm happy. You guys can make whatever public comments you want. You'll never upset me and I'll never take offense to it because for me, it's a learning opportunity. So really it's about starting with this vulnerability and showing that the people around you that it is safe. And so here it's like, what should I continue to do? That's your first question to ask yourself. What should I continue to do? And then ask your team members, what should I do more of? And then what can I do to make you more effective? What can I do to make you more effective? So there are your 3 questions. Keep it really simple. Keep it regular. Having some great catch-ups with people. And then trust me, the improvement that you'll see in the team members around you is absolutely amazing. And as you become more self-aware, get a handle around, look, most of you guys watching this, you're ready to do this development. You're sucking up this content. You're doing this self-development and professional development with me right now. There wouldn't be many people that have got an enormous ego. It's like, I'm fine. I've got nothing wrong. You guys are taking some tips and tricks and looking to improve. So, but if there are people around you, we're starting to say, well, how can I help you? How can I serve you better? People have got to be ready to learn, whether they're in a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And that could be the question. If you see somebody who's got an enormous ego, has got issues around this, then a question that you could be asking them is, what are your thoughts on leadership? Do you think you have a fixed or a growth mindset around leadership? Do you see that your leadership is improving, or do you know everything that you need to know? Because we can see from Finkelstein's habits, which are reported in our leadership guide that will be up on our website this afternoon for you guys for free. You can, within about 4 or 5 hours from this recording, we will have the leadership guide available at bestpractice.biz/guides. You can download it and you can get your copy and you can edit it and you can start to use it as a guideline in your organization, best practice guideline if you like. What Finkelstein talks about in his habits is that really egotistical approach. And I say that in a negative way. I mean it very positively because I have a huge amount of love for people, is that the more we can be self-aware, that Jim Collins' data from all of his research in the organizations that transitioned from good to great, then the key fundamental of level 5 leadership was really about humility and having these kinds of questions to ask ourselves and ask our team members so that we can get the best out of them. Okay, so I just wanted to keep it short and sweet today. I try to keep the Thursday sessions nice and tight for you guys so I don't take too much of your time. Let me know in the comments, was this helpful? Hit that like button. In fact, smash that like button for me so that the algorithm knows that this was good stuff and it gives us a little bit further reach. If there's a particular topic you would like me to talk more about, I've just had a conversation with Vanessa this morning, planning out what we're doing next week and starting to think about the weeks ahead. We are going to do more on leadership. We're definitely going to circle back next week. I think on Thursday next week, we're going to talk more about management systems. Had a really interesting client meeting yesterday, which inspired me to talk more about how to design, implement, and maintain and improve a management system. So we're going to talk about improving the effectiveness of the management system, the policies and processes and procedures that sit behind your organization. I will talk about that more next Thursday, but I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about culture, because without leadership, without people, without good culture, the best policies on the planet mean absolutely nothing. They are worthless pieces of paper. So we've got to keep working on the people part with these sessions. And keep getting you guys to improve and evolve your leadership styles. So if there's particular topics, particular questions you guys have got, really helps me. I'll answer those questions. So yeah, if you guys have got any questions, now's the time. We're live. I've got another 20 minutes. If I don't get any questions, we'll wrap it up, but I've got a couple there. I'll answer those for you guys. So if you have got questions about you, about your leadership style, about what you can evolve, happy to help. Okay, let me get to these now. Helen, you're very welcome. Absolutely happy to keep doing this for you. Craig, a manager should continue to grow as a leader, and a person helping others grow like you're doing is just as important for a leader and is appreciated. Please continue with the great content. I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's my plan, is I want you guys to be thinking about that. Craig, I know you've got your startup business. If you want to talk about that, if you want any tips and tricks, please reach out to me, grab a Zoom call. I can talk you through that. I've had a few people reach out to me. How do I start up? How do I run my startup? What should I focus on? What are some of the mistakes I made? I was talking to someone last night. I took my son to soccer training last night, and someone cornered me at soccer training and asked me some questions about how they can set up their little business and get it started, and how to organize things, and what are some of the the mistakes to avoid and tips and tricks. And I can definitely help with that. So I think, in a nutshell, at a time like this, when it all goes a little bit quiet, and we've got a crisis, do more, and really start to think about, what can you do more of? So I like these questions. I'm going to use them outside of leadership, because I'm going to say, well, what should I continue to do? What is it that I don't do very often that I should do more of? I'm going to keep asking these questions of my team. And then what can I do to make you more effective? I want to make you guys more effective. That's what I'm passionate about. And so that's why I'm trying to come up with the content. But if you guys ask me, then please, I'll produce videos and do sessions on those as well. Okay, so any further questions from anyone? I'll wait a couple of seconds because there's a little bit of a couple of second lag there. So more than happy to answer questions. Maybe you share a story. If you can tell me about a time, comment yes or no in the comments there. Are you aware of a leader that's really struggled? Are you aware of somebody who, that you could learn from? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not going to be that kind of leader. Let me know, because it really gets you guys thinking about what you can do to improve. Okay. It really helps us a lot if you copy the link and share it, and we get more views. That really helps us get our message out there. So if you can hit the subscribe button, encourage any other colleagues in your organization to subscribe. Let people know that the bestpractice.biz website exists. Have a conversation in your organization. If you need to take any of our videos and show them in a meeting, or parts of our videos in a meeting or in a team training session in your organization, if you need help to work out how to play one of our videos to a Zoom call, you can share your desktop in a Zoom call or in a Google Hangout or in Microsoft Teams. Share your desktop. You can obviously share a browser. You can share our YouTube channel, and you can press play on a video and it will play to your team. So if you are delivering team training remotely, I can talk you through how to use that technology so you can share our videos. Either share the videos via copying the link and sending it out to everybody via email, or sharing it in live training sessions. I can talk you through that technology. So next week, Wednesday session next week, we're going to be talking more about how to sell yourself more effectively. So we are all selling ourselves more effectively all of the time. I'm going to talk more about that, do a bit more personal development around being better at selling yourself. So if you're somebody who needs to sell yourself, and then we will also be talking about how to make your management system more effective, more modern, more streamlined, get a better return on investment so that it supports great people. And then we will keep working our way through culture and leadership and those topics as well, to have a bit more of a well-rounded impact. So for those of you that aren't aware of the things that we physically sell, we've got a bunch of training courses, very simple training courses on our online website. We're obviously an ISO certified company. That's our core, that's where we've been. That's our origins. So if you have seen best practice certification, so the logos that are up here on the screen, I know that there's a couple of people in the stream watching today that do a great job of showing their customers those great certification trust marks. So you can put, if you come and get certified with best practice, you can put these on your vehicles, on your on your business cards, on your email addresses. We had a big meeting yesterday where we're rolling out branding on an organization that has lots and lots of vehicles out on the road, which is going to be really exciting here in Australia. We can help you anywhere in the world. So if you're watching from anywhere in the world, we can do all of our work remotely. So 3 parts of the business: Best Practice Talent, which is our recruitment company. If you are looking, or if you know anybody, we'd appreciate recommendations. Anybody who is, do you know anybody who is looking to get a better handle on their recruitment process? they either want to do the recruitment themselves, or they want some assistance with their recruitment process, or they want a recruiter to do that, we can help with all those 3 steps. There's our free guide, which is our full formula, our full procedure. It's all there in black and white on our website for free. You can download it, how we do our work, so you can do it yourselves, because I appreciate in the COVID-19 crisis right now, money is tight. And so we've said, well, here's how we do it. Here is the winning formula. Please follow it. Please don't cut any corners. That's available. The winning formula for recruitment from Best Practice Talent is available on the Best Practice Biz website under the Guides tab. We also do psychometric testing. We've got a great psychometric testing product for testing new recruits, but also testing your existing team members to support their development plan. And the system can work out strengths and weaknesses and areas of improvement and do that independently, so it's not subjective. And Kelly John Woods can help you access that great software. It's a cloud-based system. It's absolutely fantastic to roll out for all of your team members. So if you are getting ready to do your development plans and you're getting ready to do your professional plans and your annual reviews, which we are now, over the next 8 weeks, I'm going to be doing the reviews with my direct professional development reviews and my direct reports. We use that psychometric testing as a basis so you can access that product. So obviously Next Practice, where we do our business coaching, our ISO discovery workshops. I was on the phone just before this live stream to Nick Fagan. Shout out to Nick Fagan. So if you want some assistance with improvement of your management system, you want some assistance with developing and scaling up your team. So if you're an organization that really wants to grow, if you're an organization that knows you're destined for something bigger, you want to take a bit more effort to focus on working on the right things, then Next Practice and the Scaling Up program is absolutely fantastic. So if you've seen a decline in your revenue, you can access that Scaling Up program to really work on the priorities to grow. If you've seen your business, we're flatlining, but we really want to grow, or if you're growing and you want to get a little bit more organized, the Scaling Up program with Next Practice is absolutely fantastic, along with the very basic programs we run to help you understand ISO management systems and establish your systems. So they're the 3 businesses here at Best Practice. I don't obviously do the shameless promotion very often of what we actually physically sell and what you can access, but there you have it. It's available on bestpractice.biz/services. You can see that. So Caitlin and Vanessa and the team here have done a huge amount of work on the bestpractice.biz website, improving every day. We're really excited by that. So look out for these certification marks and maybe shout out. If you have them in your organization, take a photo, post it on Instagram and tag us, or post it on LinkedIn and tag us. And if there's anyone I can help further, please let me know. Magdalene, you are very welcome. Always happy to be talking about these great topics. And I also look forward to next week. I look forward to seeing you all again right here. If you don't see me out and about, because I have got a few meetings, I am getting out and about now. So you will all see me here again next time on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.